shine brightest, a place in the southwest where nature's bounty meets human ingenuity, where every effort contributes to a legacy of growth. In this state, the richness of the past weaves seamlessly with the promise of tomorrow, and every voice resonates with the potential to shape a brighter future. As the dawn breaks on Saturday, 16th November 2024, it brings more than just a new day. It ushers in a pivotal moment for the people of Ondo State. A day when you, the citizens, have the power to choose the next democratic governor of our cherished state. This is more than an election. It's a call to action, a reminder that democracy flourishes through your participation. Your voice, your vote, is the heartbeat of this process. Voting is not just a right, it's a civic duty enshrined in our Constitution. It is the very essence of a democratic culture, shaping our future and affirming our collective will. To vote is to claim your birthright, and to refuse to sell it is to honor your heritage. In this act, you transform from being a spectator to an active participant in the democratic process. Let's work together with all stakeholders, the electoral management body, security agencies, and the media to ensure a free, fair, and peaceful election. Democracy is not just about casting a vote, it's about protecting that vote, making sure it counts. Violence undermines the very principles of democracy. Let's rise above it, participating in the spirit of unity and peace. Are you 18 years old and above with a valid voter's card? Then rise, participate, and vote. Be part of history. For in Ondo State, on November 16, 2024, democracy has the power to create change, and that change begins with you. Ondo State, the Sunshine State. Let your voice be heard. Vote.
This message is brought to you by Center for Media and Society, CEMESO, and funded by the European Union.
Good to have you with us on this special program that we're having today, reaching you from the studios of Ondo State Television Corporation, Osrc. It's a media engagement ahead of Ondo State governorship election, which is barely 2 days to come. And all eyes on Ondo State as everyone is waiting to ensure there is free, fair, and credible governorship election in the state. And to look at the issues for the elections, concerning the elections with us this day, we have in the studio, I've got Dr. Akingulu, Executive Director, Center for Media and Society. It's nice to have you, Doc.
Thank you. I'm
All
glad
right.
to be here.
Again, yes. And close to my side there is Mr. Lanre Arogundade, the Executive Director, International Press Center. It's nice to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, yes, your organization and yourselves have been in the state, having several stakeholders engagement, free and fair. And one thing that is utmost to every participant, both the politicians and the electorate, seems to be the issue of transparency, because that makes the acceptability, to be more when people see that it has been a transparent one. And there are new methods that the stakeholders, including INEC, maybe that you're aware of, that they're putting in place to make sure that this election transparency is deepened and the integrity of the polls is protected. Doctor.
Thank you very much. We can see that there's so much enthusiasm in the air among stakeholders towards Saturday. That's towards the day of the elections. We can see that everywhere in Ondo State is lively, including in the state capital here in Akure. And as you rightly said, the issue of transparency of the process, is very paramount in the eyes or in the consideration of all stakeholders, including particularly citizens who are going to vote on Saturday. Talking about transparency in the electoral process, it's the duty of several stakeholders. We begin, with the election management body, that's INEC. It's important, that they put in place measures that will ensure, that on voting day, all the things that are done are seen, to be really transparent, on top of the table, not under the table. And I'm glad, that they have provided assurances. We have interacted with them. We have interacted with other stakeholders as well, and the interactions continue. And INEC, has given assurance that everything is going to be transparent, beginning with even, preparation of their materials. Only yesterday, we were at their offices, and we saw, that they were taking care, of the vital materials, interacting with other stakeholders like the Central Bank of Nigeria, the security agencies, and all of that, who are going to help them, to make the process transparent. They have said, for example, on election day, all those things are supposed to be in place. Those important structures, Voter'S is going to work. They have made arrangements to provide enough, even providing extras in case, for plan B, in case there is any hitch, with some of the equipment. They have extras. That's what they have told us in their narrative. That Voter'S will work, that IREV will work, that everything, up to the collation process.
So talking about the Voter'S, the IREV, sometimes they'll talk about mechanical fault. In some places, people say, oh, the Voter'S didn't work. Are we uploading to IREV and all of that? So
show the use of technology throughout all the processes. So IREV is just like a display board that is supposed to help with the transparency of the process. And like I said, from the polling units, they will go to the local government collation center, and then from there to the state collation center, where the designated officials will then be announcing the results. So it's important for people to know that if your party wins, even in your local government, don't assume that you've already won. Don't begin to celebrate, because that is part of a process. The question of Voter'S technology failing, I think it came up in one of our engagements with the INEC officials, and we wanted assurance from them that, look, this thing is technology, it fails. And what
the journalists have been up to that responsibility. They've been doing all of that. We expect, that even on election day, they will be on the field to see how these things play out. So information dissemination, including education of voters or prospective voters, have been ongoing. At our level, we have also been doing direct engagement, sometimes directly through forums like this, fora like this, to say to citizens, as we are saying now, that we're voting at the polling unit, and having results there doesn't translate in
anything in order to curtail that.
Well, we've tried. Part of the engagement that he spoke about was with journalists on how to counter disinformation.
Okay.
We were here about 2 months ago because we wanted them to prepare early, and we had discussion, we had dialogue, we introduced different tools they can use to ensure that they are not led to publish false information. But we're really concerned about the conventional media, the television, the radio, and the newspapers, and the need for them to exercise discipline of verification. And this is something disturbing. Use your instrumentality to cross-check with the relevant agencies, with INEC, with the police, with Civil Defense Corps, so that we can put the correct information out there. Even as at yesterday, we still had another dialogue through one of our sister organizations within the European Union Support to Democratic Governance project, that is CAPA, Public Accountability Organization. It was also focused on how to ensure that we do not have disinformation in the process, and we reiterated those basic principles. And we are, so far with what we've seen, we've not seen any media accused of publishing false information, although we have also seen elements of misleading. When there are accusations, we're not saying you should not publish accusations, but also get the other side before you publish them. But we have also worked with even INEC itself, INEC Ondo. We've told them that, look, you need capacity on your own. It's because we are not going to do this job for you. You too, you can use fact-checking tools to check what people are saying about you and use that to prepare better and where necessary respond to that, because a single disinformation can cause violence, can mar the whole process, and we'll be back to square one. And we do not want that to happen. And that's one area that is of very, very important concern to us as far as this election is concerned.
Yes, one area that is very important in every election, in fact, in Nigeria, is the issue of violence. And thankfully, so far in the states, the campaigns have gone, seamlessly. There have not been attacks on, or from any of the party or across board. But then sometimes you may not foresee it coming, like post-election. So I mean the balance of post-elections.
Yeah, when the results will
yes,
yes,
that one we can't say, but we hope that it's also going to be. It's not going to be something that will happen in the state. But from the Center for Media and Society, have you had talks with security agencies? What is the security going to be like, and how much more of cooperation do you envisage from all stakeholders, including the election?
How the process has gone so far without violence. Because in other climes, we could find violence even during the campaigns and all of that. But we're glad, that has not happened here. That's a plus already for this process going on in Ondo State. We're seeing on election day, from what we're seeing, and very possibly, after the elections. One, the security agencies will have interacted with them over the past, ensuring there is no violence or taking care of security. It's not just the duty of security agencies alone. Other stakeholders have a role to play. And this gives us opportunity, again, beyond our earlier interactions, to call on the political parties to ensure, that they do not have agents on the field, who will cause problems, because very often this thing comes from, the political parties who sometimes get their agents, to go and cause problems because they want to, in some cases, they want to win at all costs. Since we haven't seen this so far happening, them again to ensure, that they do not get their agents perform well. They perform their roles as constitutionally or legally guaranteed. That's within the law on election day, so that things will go peacefully. We don't want any holders that we want a peaceful election in Ondo State. And let's see. The way things are going, the trend that we're seeing shows that everything will be.
By turning yourself to talks or agents of these parties. If somebody gives you money to go and cause a mayor, realize that your relatives may be caught in the action. It's like the Yoruba proverb that says that when you throw the stone in a marketplace, you throw a stone into a market, you are not sure whether it will not hit a relative of yours. So we appeal to our young people not to turn themselves into tools of destabilization and violence as far as this election are concerned. Because if you go out there to fight, you are injured, you are killed, it will not stop changing political parties later. So then you will have just died for nothing, and we don't think that should happen.
Okay. Then the issue of violence sometimes stems out of when the electorates, when it signs foul play in the process. What can they do, not resulting to violence? What legal procedure can they take to say, at our polling unit, so and so happened, and that it will be taken care of?
Okay, let me quickly say something before that. I think for that, really, people must understand that in election, it is the political parties that are actually at the center of it. Okay, this campaign now, the candidates are going around, they are campaigning, but it is the symbol and the name of the political party that will be on the ballot. So in the parties they are voting for. And that is why political parties have agents in each polling unit, they have agents at the collation centers. Political parties must train their agents very well. Use reliable agents. Don't use agents that can be bought over to the political party. The agents will know, and the agents have the right to lodge complaints there and there. Because if you say, because you observe that something is going wrong, and you take laws into your own hands, and there is violence, the new Electoral Act, the Electoral Act 2022 that we're using now, as amended, gives INEC powers not to accept the results. That is the official in that location. If there is violence and is mad, that can lead to the total cancellation of the votes from that place. And if it happens that and you know we're in the press
in Ondo State, turning out en mass for that on Saturday, to cast their votes, Doctor.
Well, from the trend, that we see, we think that the turnout will be
massive.
Yeah, massive will be
would
impressive.
be, or maybe.
Yes, it's likely to be. In an election, for example, there are several factors that will account, for low voter turnout. Sometimes people think, maybe the security of the polling places cannot be guaranteed. People are not sure, if I go there could be problems, violence, and all of that. Group, of their personnel in the election to ensure, that the challenges of the past are adequately addressed. So, and that on election day, things will happen as expected to happen. That's
all right, but Mr. Arunde, they seem to be having a contrary view to what Doctor has said.
No, I'm just like, because like he said, several factors.
Okay.
So our hope, our expectation is that there will be more, turnout, and we can only do our best. People have different reasons. And then this is where the political parties come in. Because when you talk of voter education, all this we're doing, yes, we do it as civil society. INEC does it as part of its statutory responsibility. National Orientation Agency is also part of it. But the political parties are the ones that should do more of voter mobilization. We're not saying
it's your primary consistency, which is the pressmen. We don't have pressmen. Pressmen.
We have women.
No,
Some of us think we have women.
Okay, so why you have gentlemen of the press? All right. So, but what are you doing? Because we have seen during elections where pressmen, journalists, reporters have been manhandled, the victims of violence, even from political parties sometimes, or from security agents and all of that. So have you trained them on how to...
Since journalists who will be on election duty will be accredited and they will have INEC tags, they should enlighten their men not to molest journalists who have that. The security agents who have also said that sometimes during elections, the army, they mark checkpoints. And if they stop you, you're a journalist, and they say you should identify yourself, even though it's obvious, because you may have the tag, you may have everything, just out of courtesy too, don't immediately get angry and say, why should you stop me? I don't have, mind you, can't you see I'm a journalist? Those kind of things normally cause unnecessary tension. We have also said, be careful when there's possible violence, stay away, and if violence breaks out, try and cover from a distance. We haven't told them on election day, mind what you wear. On election day, when you are going out, we don't expect you to dress like me now or Dr.
Okay,
Kibudu, because
I think
if you start running your...
We'll pick it up from there when we return from this break. Please, the conversation continues, don't go away.
Ondo State, where the rays of possibility shine brightest, a place in the southwest, where nature's bounty meets human ingenuity, where every effort weaves seamlessly with the promise of tomorrow, and every voice resonates with the potential to shape a brighter future. As the dawn breaks on Saturday, 16th November 2024, it brings more than just a new day. It ushers in a pivotal moment for the people of Ondo State. A day when you, the citizens, have the power to choose the next democratic governor of our cherished state. This is more than an election. It's a call to action, a reminder that democracy flourishes through your participation. Your voice, your vote, is the heartbeat of this process. Voting is not just a right, it's a civic duty enshrined in our Constitution. It is the very essence of a democratic culture, shaping our future and affirming our collective will. To vote is to claim your birthright, and to refuse to sell it is to honor your heritage. In this act, you transform from being a spectator to an active participant in the democratic process. Let's work together with all stakeholders, the electoral management body, security agencies, and the media to ensure a free, fair, and peaceful election. Democracy is not just about casting a vote, it's about protecting that vote, making sure it counts. Violence undermines the very principles of democracy. Let's rise above it, participating in the spirit of unity and peace. Are you 18 years old and above with a valid voter's card? Today, on November 16, 2024, democracy has the power to create change, and that change begins with you. Ondo State, the Sunshine State. Let your voice be heard. Vote.
This message is brought to you by Center for Media and Society, CEMESO, and funded by
Ondo State, where the rays of possibility shine brightest, a place in the southwest, where nature's bounty meets human ingenuity, where every effort contributes to a legacy of growth. In this state, the richness of the past weaves seamlessly with the promise of tomorrow, and every voice resonates with the potential to shape a brighter future. As the dawn breaks on Saturday, 16th November 2024, it brings more than just a new day. It ushers in a pivotal moment for the people of Ondo State. A day when you, the citizens, have the power to choose the next democratic governor. A reminder that democracy flourishes through your participation. Your voice, your vote, is the heartbeat of this process. Voting is not just a right, it's a civic duty enshrined in our Constitution. It is the very essence of a democratic culture, shaping our future and affirming our collective will. To vote is to claim your birthright, and to refuse to sell it is to honor your heritage. In this act, you transform from being a spectator to an active participant in the democratic process. Let's work together with all stakeholders, the electoral management body, security agencies, and the media to ensure a free, fair, and peaceful election. Democracy is not just about casting a vote, it's about protecting that vote, making sure it counts. Violence undermines the very principles of democracy. Let's rise above it, participating in the spirit of unity and peace. Are you 18 years old and above with a valid voter's card? Then rise, participate, and vote. Be part of history. For in Ondo State, on November 16, 2024, democracy has the power to create change, and that change begins with you. Ondo State, the Sunshine State. Let your voice be heard. Vote.
This message is brought to you by Center for Media and Society, CEMESO, and funded by the European Union.
For today, we're looking at Ondo 2024 media engagements, and we've been having in our midst different civil society organizations. We've had this Center for Media and Society, CEMESO, represented by Dr. Akibulu, the Executive Director, and we've also had Mr. Lamri Rugundade, the Executive Director of International Press Center, as they've been talking with us. And after the break, yes, we had to bring in a special person, and that's talking about Mr. Jake Epele, as the CEO TAF Africa. We'll be looking at things from the angle of persons with disability we expect from this group of persons. But then, before we went to that break, I told you we were discussing with Mr. Arumundade what exactly should be the composure of journalists, especially reporters, in this election, so that they will be respected and they'll be able to deliver their job, as expected of them. Yes, Mr. Arumundade.
Okay, thank you. So as I was saying, we've tried to encourage our colleagues not to be too hostile to security agents, particularly when they have reason to stop them, check them, require for identity card. You must make sure you don't leave behind the tag from INEC. That is very, very important. But even in addition to that, hold the identity card of your organization or your professional body, and make sure you have the contact details. So in case there's any problem, you may need to call the chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists in the States, your editor, your colleagues. In fact, we even encourage them to know the numbers offered. In fact, when we had that training, we were testing them. Say, how many numbers can you call offered? Because you may lose your phone.
Numbers of their bosses.
Because some journalists will go out to different local governments through the first PRO for the state, get the phone numbers of the DPOs in case you run into trouble. These are important steps that you have to take. Some of our colleagues will be going to the 2 local government areas where they have to travel on water. We have told them that make sure your organization provides for life jacket for you, or for money for you to rent or whatever. We don't want you to go ride on those boats without life jackets. In Bayelsa State, we have lost about 2-3 journalists into both MISAP. Some of them didn't have life jackets, and that was really, really very, very bad.
But whose responsibility was it to provide the life jackets?
It's the responsibility of the organizations, because they are the ones sending them.
Their organization or INEC?
The media organization sending them, because we have some group of journalists that we could refer to the INEC Corps who report INEC issues. We expect INEC to provide for them. But when it comes to election, because we want you to be independent, you are going there as an independent reporter. Your organization must provide this for you. Then part of safety too is the health of the journalists. It's good for you to check your BP, make sure that your doctor gives you the okay. If you are asthmatic, you should know where to go. All these things are very, very important, because you can only be alive for you to report live what is going on. If you are not alive, that is not quite possible. So we have provided these safety tips, and we're using this medium to remind them of all this. I was talking about dressing, you were smiling. It's important, because on election day, you don't dress like Super Chief Jake Pele here. or wear, this is not about gender, this is about everybody. Even the kind of shoe you wear must be one that, if it is necessary for you to beat the record of Usain Bolt, you'll be in a position to do that. Dress smartly, then work in groups. Don't go alone, because it is easier to attack one person than a group. And when it's a group, we are sure that 1 or 2 people in that group will be able to. So that's what we have said, and we are there. CIMESO is there, IPC is there, they have our contacts. If there are problems, reach out to us, and we can also know what to do.
All right, thank you very much.
Let me weigh in on the safety, because I'm from River State.
Okay.
And I know some of the rules. I think the first responsibility lies on the boat owners to provide the safety jacket. By law, they are not supposed to operate and even travel in the sea without those safety. So the likes of some of the channels that we know may not have that resources to provide that. So I think we need to put the responsibility on the shoulders of the boat owners. That is, by law, they are supposed to provide the necessary safety material for their passengers. So, and it doesn't have to be only journalists. Anybody that is going through the sea vessel should have safety measures. Safety jacket.
But then, Mr. Jake, this is Nigeria, where I doubt how many boat owners in Ondo State are aware that they're supposed to have life jackets for their passengers anyway. And we're talking about an election that is just 2 days to go. Maybe Mr. Arunade has ended up providing an essential information to all
exactly.
Right now, so that they provide life jackets, for reporters that will be going to the river areas. And the reporter, amongst other things that you've heard, stay smart and work in groups and so much more there. All right, Mr. Jacob Haley, as I said earlier, it's nice to have you on the show, and you've been a vocal voice for persons with disability. And it's no news that this set of people have not been actively represented in their numbers, in electoral processes in the country. First, I would like you to tell us why. Why is this so? And then tell us what is going to change the narrative.
Okay, first I want very first reason for voter apathy is lack of voter education. Inadequate voter education. And when the product that have been provided for them to participate effectively. The other thing is security issue. If they don't feel that their life will be secured or they're going to operate in a safety environment, they don't show up. In terms of process, if they don't know or don't feel that the process will not accommodate them. Process, I mean, issues like things like accessibility, how accessible the environment that they're coming to participate will be. Priority voting. When I come, won't all the crowd, surging crowd, will they now harm me? 3, the intersecurity agencies, will they recognize my disability and give me the protection that I require? 4, the electoral officers, do they know how to cater for me so that I can participate effectively? And finally, which is every citizen's concern, will my vote count? I mean, these 5 reasons, I can go on and on and on and on, is majorly practically responsible for voter apathy that we see first within the community of persons with disability and the entire citizen. So it's not just persons with disability. We are very I'll tell you one thing. I never voted until I was 58. 58 years old was the first time I voted in my life. And I'm 64, still looking good, right?
Okay, so what are you doing to change the narrative for a younger person maybe, who is living with disability, maybe just turned 18 and wants to exercise his or her franchise?
Well, the first thing we're doing is what we're doing right now. Awareness. Create the awareness. Make sure that they are aware of their right to vote and be voted for. It's not just for them to vote. They also must be voted for.
If they come out to say, I want to vie for certain positions. Anyway.
Well, many of them are coming out, even in this state. I know a young woman that has been at the forefront of being elected, but she kept a person with disability. She experiences a lot of challenges. So it's important that the atmosphere, environmentally and in terms of accessibility, is provided for them to effectively participate. I've never seen a person with disability who does not want to exercise his or her franchise. But the question is environment conducive? Take for instance my community, my direct community. which is persons with albinism. I didn't want to go out and try to exercise my franchise because I didn't want to be born in the sun.
Okay, so I think for the want of time now, yes, I would like you to look into the camera and tell persons with disability in Ondo State, what do you expect of them on Saturday? In just 2 sentences.
Thank you. If you're watching this program, and probably you have also the opportunity. You are governed, willing to make that choice of who will govern you. You have the greatest opportunity of a lifetime to say who will be the governor of this state. Your vote is your power. Please don't sell it, and ensure that you cast it for the person of your choice. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Jake Epele, for that. I'll take your last comment as your party short as well, because Well,
it's just to say that we all have a responsibility. We in the media, we have to be accountable to the people. Let's be professional, and all the stakeholders, the security agencies, INEC, National Civil Defense Corps, National Orientation Agency. Election day is around the corner.
All right, thank you very much, my dear viewer. This is how much we'll be going on this media engagement towards Ondo 2024, which is the governorship election coming up this Saturday. A very big thank you to Dr. Akingbolu, the Executive Director, Center for Press Center, and of course Mr. Jake Epele as the CEO, TAF Africa. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, remember what is said, that if you do not go out to vote, then you do not have right to complain on how you are being governed. I think you take that as a takeaway from this program. My name is Fola Shade Ogidon, saying exercise the civic right.
Ondo State, where the rays of possibility shine brightest, a place in the southwest, where nature's bounty meets human ingenuity, where every effort contributes to a legacy of growth. In this state, the richness of the past weaves seamlessly with the promise of tomorrow, and every voice resonates with the potential to shape a brighter future. As the dawn breaks on Saturday, 16th November 2024, it brings more than just a new day. It ushers in a pivotal moment for the people of Ondo State.